This is a tutorial for a Husqvarna Viking Platinum 735. We're going to cover some basic features really quick. Switch on, you can see it defaults to a basic straight stitch. You can change your stitches easily with the stitch selection buttons. For example, if you want to switch to a zigzag to finish edges, just with one touch of a button, it'll change your stitch length and width. You can of course customize this based on the fabric that you're using. You have choices down here for wovens of light, medium, and heavy weights, knits, light, medium, heavy, leather, polyurethane, doing edge finishing, and buttonholes. Today we're just going to cover some basic stitches. So to start sewing, just drop your presser foot. There'll be one pause while the machine calibrates. And away you go. If you're going to change a stitch, make sure your needle is always up out of the fabric. You can reverse stitch by either holding it and stitching, or you can double tap to turn on reverse stitching and then guide your reverse stitch for any length that you desire. Turn it off again with one touch of a button. This machine also offers a fixed stitch which ties a tiny knot, so that's perfect for when you're doing a lot of color changes, embroidery, or even if you just don't want to tie knots in any kind of sewing. After you're done with your stitching, lift your presser foot and you have an integrated thread cutter on the back of the machine here. Let's thread and wind a bobbin. To wind a bobbin, you don't really even have to take your thread off, but let's just start if we're putting on a new spool of thread. Come around through the tension discs. Make sure you tuck the thread into this other little tension disc here. Come under this little knob here, over. Put your bobbin on the bobbin spindle, and then wrap your yarn around your bobbin a few times. When you're ready to start winding your bobbin, snap it into place. Cut the tail and start winding. You might want to just give it a tap to make sure it winds easily. Just give it that one tap in the beginning of the winding process. Otherwise, the thread can get stuck in the little groove where you catch the thread. Okay, once you've wound a bobbin as thick as you want, I don't usually wind them more than 2/3 full. If they get too full, it doesn't seem to make the stitches as even. Definitely no more than 3/4 full. Once you've wound a bobbin, it's really easy to change your bobbin out. You just pop off the top bobbin plate, drop your bobbin in, bring the thread up and around over the top of the bobbin. You want it to catch here in this little groove. Listen for the snap. If you don't hear that snap, you're not in the tension plates and your thread is going to be a big mess. So bring your thread. Oh, I also should show you, when you put the bobbin in, always make sure the little Husqvarna Viking crown is facing up. If you put it upside down, it's not going to work. Okay, so drop your bobbin in with the crown on top. Bring your thread around over the top. Pull it down into the tension plate. Listen for the snap. Then you've got a thread cutter here, so you just wrap around, cut your thread, okay? You want to actually do that after you put the bobbin down in and you make sure it's seated. Put your bobbin plate on, then cut your thread. Okay, now let's thread the top thread. You can have your thread, either on this spindle or spool holder or on the horizontal one, depending on the size and shape of your thread spool. All right, so you want to go through the tension plate, down, up and around, over the hook, back down. Here is another small hook that holds the thread. Can you show it? There you go. This way. Make sure you get behind that. Then thread your needle. And all of this is shown in your user manual. You don't have to worry about pulling up the bobbin thread. It'll happen automatically when you start sewing. See? Those are the basic features of your Husqvarna Viking. When you want to change a needle, use your included screwdriver to undo this thumb screw, or do it by hand if you can. Pull the needle down and change it with another one. When you are putting the needle back in, make sure the flat side of the needle faces to the back. Slide it in. Make sure it's seated all the way to the top. Push up as you're tightening to make sure it stays in place. Tighten the screw and your needle is all set. And then you can thread your needle again. If you want to use decorative stitches, you can easily do that by changing the menu that you're in. I haven't done that for a while. I don't remember how to do it. You'll find it in your manual. It's really easy to do in the menu somewhere. And also I want to point out that any stitch that is directional, like one that is this scallop that's facing to the right, you can use this mirror image button and it'll turn it to the left. It's really helpful for all the edge finishing stitches and the decorative stitches. So those are all the basic things. You can also, snap off the accessory kit. This is the accessory tray. And you then have a good plate, a free arm, so that you can sew pants and sleeves and things where you need to have a smaller base. If you want to use the free motion quilting foot, that is included, and the control to drop the feed dogs is down here. So you'll see that when you use it, the feed dogs drop down. And with the free motion special quilting foot that's included, you have to change out this whole section, not just the needle, but also this part of the machine, this white part. Then you can sew in any direction that you want to. It takes a little bit to get the hang of it, but it can be a lot of fun. And then to put the feed dogs back up, you just switch it and then sew a stitch, and then they come back up again. Okay, that's everything. Have fun.